But if you are encouraging diversity in organizations, it actually boosts 3 times the performance of these organizations. When we talk about sustainability, sustainability is usually seen as something that is related to maintaining a good environment around us. And I would like to look at it and also expand on environment in a bigger way, not just environment in terms of being ecological and with regard to nature and planet, but it's also about the whole environment in which we live, the whole context in which we live. So this is very similar to the environment also within an organization. So for me, a sustainable innovation culture looks in practice like a place where you can experiment very safely, where learning is really continuous, and where there is cross-disciplinary collaboration between different players. People should be encouraged to question first, and should be even supported for that. And then to also should be very much nurtured to be initiative driven, to take initiative, to propose things, to stay curious. This is something our systems have been to really in a way killing the natural curiosity that we have through life, which is inborn feature and something innate to all human beings, and which keeps us really alive, I think, and fresh in our way of thinking. So this process of developing innovation culture and keeping it sustainable is very much related to also having the approach of where you continuously encourage and nurture experimentation. And you nurture the fact that learning is not an ending process, but it's actually an endless process. It's part of your personal growth and development. And if you are able to align that personal growth and development with the company goals for development, then you are able to sustain a culture of innovation and growth that is very much needed and critical nowadays. Entrepreneurial thinking starts with courage and self-confidence, as well as staying open-minded, to me. So established leaders must allow themselves to step into unknown territories, must accept that there is a lot of uncertainty and ambiguity around us, that we cannot always be the providers of truth, if I could call it, or of the decision or the solution. And they need to be able to trust other voices that are different from theirs, to encourage younger, fresh ideas, but to also build capacity within the organization for quick learning that could be later on integrated and adopted fast. Because I think one of our biggest challenges, and especially with established organizations that are leaders, that differentiates bigger organizations from small and from startups, is the fact that we are not able to be courageous enough and open enough to adopt what we see as the needed change adopt it fast, so adopt it with speed, but also take responsibility for making that shift and that change. And entrepreneurial thinking and culture is all about that. It's about being ready to take the responsibility for the next step in a faster way and in a more flexible way than an established organization that usually requires, certainty, security, and guarantees for what happens next. And we cannot ensure this nowadays. Diverse leadership is not just a moral imperative to me nowadays. It's actually a strategic advantage. And how come this is the case? Because it brings broader perspectives together. It actually brings sometimes even parts that are not necessarily foreseen as being complementary, but it allows for really broader and much more multifaceted picture to be built. So it brings broader perspective, it brings better management and a stronger decision-making power to organizations. So also diversity helps companies anticipate the challenges and uncover new opportunities. If you have that approach and thinking, you would usually be really much more open-minded in how you look at certain concepts or certain established heuristics, even in organizations, and also in our economic life. And I think something that I would like to stress upon is there's been a lot of research done. Recently, I read one also by Boston Consulting Group that shows that if you are encouraging diversity in organizations, it actually boosts 3 times the performance of these organizations. So there are very clear economic, financial, and other social benefits to this. And it's not a question of being fashionable with that topic. It's actually a question of being very practical, especially if you apply it to businesses and organizations where we see a bigger return on investment through that perspective and approach. Well, this is, to me, it's really about lighting a spark in audiences, in people, especially about the topics that I care about. I want them to walk away with the belief in the power that we are the ones shaping the future, with the attitude of it's in my hands. I can, with a stronger self-confidence, and attitude that we also have a responsibility for who we are and for what we do. And also, I would really like that people take on from these public speeches something very concrete, but also something that will empower them to make the next step, to take an action. Also to spark, as I said, more courage, more optimism. The world is really facing a lot of challenges, and we need more brave individuals. We need everyone to be a leader of themselves, to be also much more creators than consumers. To me, it's also about really having a different perspective and response to our society, to our economy. I will always continue giving this example about the new generation, the younger generation, For example, Boyan Slat, 17-year-old entrepreneur who decided that he will take action and make his cause that he cared about, cleaning the oceans, a reality by setting up his own company and starting a movement. We need more people like that who will be shaping the world and shaping our everyday life, but also shaping the future. So it's about making that jump, igniting the spark, triggering an action.